Clinical studies are a form of research where a very important question has to be answered, and at the end of it, we should be able to look at the data and say whether a drug does work for the condition it's being developed or it doesn't work. And so clinical trials are really necessary to bring good drugs to market as well as keep bad drugs out.
From the very start of a trial, we let patients know that this is not your typical doctor-patient relationship, that what they're doing is they're participating in the trial, and our goal is to find out from them from an honest standpoint whether the medication works or not. We want them to be honest with us, not to try and tell us that they're doing better simply because they think that that's what we want them to say. We want them to tell us exactly how it is that they're feeling at any given time. And we let them know that their honesty with us is the most important thing because it helps to decide in the end whether a medication works or not. And if it doesn't work, that's perfectly fine. And if it does work, that's perfectly fine. We're not invested one way or the other. What we're invested in is finding out, is this a true medication that's efficacious?
A clinical trial is when a major drug company has created a new medicine and they have done all the research on it up to the very end, where now they need people to help them test this drug. They need a wide range of people under very different circumstances in different parts of the country, in different ages. And all these people will take the same drug and report their responses. And then in the end, when they run all the information that they got, they will know if this is an okay drug and whether you could take it or not.
There's different phases to clinical trials, and that's one of the keys that I think people need to realize is a medication doesn't just come to market or just enter testing and come to market. So there's the phase 1 of a clinical trial, which is where it's first tested in human beings, and it's a true safety trial where you're looking to see, are there side effects, what are people's responses to the medication, what's the highest amount of medication that can be tolerated. So those are really focused on making sure that the safety data is there. Then there's the phase 2 trials where we're concerned about longer-term safety. So the phase 1 trials are maybe just a few days. Phase 2 trials may be a few weeks, and we're looking at the safety of the medication and also, is there a signal for efficacy? So does the medication potentially work? Then phase 3 are your large trials that may include hundreds if not thousands of patients. So what we're looking in a phase 3 trial is, does the drug work for what we say it's supposed to work for, and is it safe for the patients? But oftentimes a medication will come to market and the FDA wants additional information. So at that point there's what we call phase 4 trials. And the phase 4 trials are commitment trials that the pharmaceutical companies have made to the FDA to continue to gather information. So those trials may last 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years in some cases, because there's additional maybe safety information that's wanted. Well, oftentimes safety information that's wanted over the long term. You know, I think that there's so many varied reasons why patients participate in trials. For a lot of patients, it's because they've tried other medicines that are on the market and maybe they didn't work for them. So they tried other medicines and maybe they didn't get the response. For some patients, it's that they've had side effects from the other medications that they've taken, and so because of that, you know, they want to try something different that maybe doesn't have the potential for the same side effects. Others may not have insurance, to be honest, and participating in a clinical trial is a way for them to get some care that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And for others, it's really hoping to advance science. They participate in a clinical trial because they want to do something. They recognize that they've got a disorder, that there may be hope for others in the future, and so by participating in a clinical trial, they may be able to help others.
Clinical research is such a critically important endeavor. It truly does deliver the promises of tomorrow's practice of medicine today. People who participate in clinical research truly are heroes. The progress that we've made in terms of being able to treat cancer more effectively, treat rheumatologic and immunologic diseases more effectively, we have really made huge progress in the last years and decades in many areas of medical practice. And these huge advances have really been delivered by clinical research.